Okay. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mang. Welcome back to Solo Role Mangging. I probably could just call this, I don't know, solo RPG. I don't know. It doesn't matter too much, I guess. Anyways. So last time, we continued to kind of interact with the centaurs. We're on this plot line now. And it's interesting how we have kind of these distinct arcs now of plots. We had the spores, and that took, a number of sessions, and we resolved that. Then we had the zoo plot line. That took a couple sessions. And now we've had the centaur plot line, which is sort of coming to a head, I think, as far as like a big, I don't know about a climax, perhaps, but something big is going to happen soon, I think. We failed to convince the chieftain of the Iron Hoof to stop his raiding. Even though we told him that now, we've got centaurs from the other camp now are acting as guards for the town of Greenleaf, the settlement of Greenleaf. That failed to dissuade him in any way. So we went then to a Melamar because, we talked to the chieftain and we said, okay, what can we do to kind of convince you that even one magic user of the Golden Union is quite capable. I wanted to show him how capable I was. So he sent us on kind of a wild goose chase into a haunted tomb to retrieve a centaur heirloom. And it'll just be, I don't know, some sort of like handcrafted art piece or something, a little statuette or something. I don't know, something like that. Obviously not really that valuable to anyone but the centaurs, but that's why the guy who stole it took it. It was because he knew that it was important to the centaurs and he was just a real dick. And so we went over all this last time. The family of this chieftain, his bloodline, they kept it a secret that the guy had stolen it. It would bring great shame to them if that came out. But then the centaur curse weaver put a curse on the tomb, just to piss on this guy's family and all that. Not knowing that this heirloom was locked away in there. And so it has continued to be locked away for many hundreds of years. So the chieftain is hoping that Garland either dies trying or somehow manages to get back this heirloom. So we went to a Melamar to try and hire some help. We ended up running into a female warrior, a mercenary named Brianna Lux. She's pretty badass. She's got a warhorse, a lance, longsword, chainmail. She's pretty badass. And so we're going to split any loot we find in here 50-50 with her. But on our way over, we stopped back at Greenleaf for the night to rest and all that. And the next morning, the band of the Iron Hoof launched their raid, or a raid, on Greenleaf. Only 4 centaurs were sent, because they really just expected to obliterate the guards there and, maybe take a few goods or something and flee out of there. It was a quick little raid, but they bumped into Garland and Brianna, and it was not pretty for the centaurs. We killed all 4 of them, no witnesses, and I used Portal for the first time offensively to launch 2 of them 120 feet into the air, where they very soon died in spectacular fashion. So the ramifications of that event we will see later, because for now the two of them are going to continue on to find this tomb. So, we also I leveled myself up to 3. I decided it was about time. We've played quite a few sessions now, so we went to level 3. I think I did everything except magic stuff, where I was picking my ability for my class. So we're gonna go with Psionic. I think that's potentially the most interesting. So we're gonna take P Psionic Magic. I'm actually kind of running out of room here. Yeah, I guess we'll have to truncate this a little bit. We're gonna take Telekinesis and Psychic Blast. And then we also get 2 more spells that we can either take from Psionic or from Shadow or from Totem. I mean, Suggestion is basically the same as Domination. I think it's literally like the same. Yeah, it's literally the same spell. Vision would let us see in the dark and spot invisible creatures. That's theoretically useful. Otherwise, we could take Telepathy or Mind Reading or Precognition. I guess let's take Domination, just because I feel like we can all see the potential use of such a spell. And then for another spell, maybe just Vision. I mean, Disguise certainly has its uses, but I don't know if it's really any better than just, like, becoming a shadow or becoming invisible. So, yeah, we'll just take Vision. Okay. Alright, yeah, we want to clean up these slots because we're going to get more magic in the future. Alright, so that's everything then. Now, you could really focus hard on one category and then you get to do the miracle. So, like the Psionic Miracle, bend the will of an entire settlement's population to your philosophy. But that doesn't really seem... It doesn't really seem like something Garland would be interested in, you know? He doesn't want to just brainwash people into seeing, like, the logic of his ideal world. You know, he wants to convince them. Persuade them. But anyways. So that's that for level 3. We're good to go now. So, we are heading over to... No, not Aeroth. Here. Alright, so we're at Greenleaf, which is right here. So we're going to follow the road southeast. to this patch of forest, and then we're going to head south into the forest and try and find this this dungeon, this tomb. This somewhat ancient tomb. Now, I mean, this tomb is what, like 800 years old? Well, I mean, it's probably a bit older than that, but this curse took place 800 years ago, and obviously it fell out of fashion at that point. But if we're implying that, you know, kingdoms used to exist in this area 800 years ago, there would probably be some sort of remnants. There would be some sort of ruins around, even if it's just like crumbling foundations or, something of the sort. There would be some kind of evidence only 800 years past. So I think probably it's not going to be that hard to find a region of the forest where it might be, but then actually finding like the entrance to it. Because presumably it's not like in the side of a cave or something like that. This is going to just be like a staircase going down. But I mean, it's got to be like overgrown. It's not used. I don't know what it would look like after 800 years. I'm just trying to think, logically of how difficult would it be to find something like this. 800 years ago. For us, that would be, like the 1200s. I don't know. I'm not European. Like, the Europeans have plenty of stuff from like the 1200s that's still kind of around. Americans, we don't got shit. I don't know. I guess, well, we're gonna ride out there. That'll take, a few hours, couple hours or so, to get into this region of the forest. So it's like, I don't know, 11 or something. And then I guess it's just a matter of like wilderness survival or something, of just like, but is it, we're not tracking it. We're not like, we don't have tracks. Or like, we're not like looking at movement along the brush as we're following a deer. It's just like, you just have to wander around and hope you find it. It's pretty much another going to be like scaling D20 roll or something like that. Maybe not that long. But yeah, I think we might be camping out here a few days as we just comb the forest. So let's do it as a scaling D12 roll. So 2 rolls per day, assuming we spend our days searching. And the first roll is a 1. Second roll needs to be a 1 or a 2. Third roll, 1, 2, or 3, until we actually find it. And otherwise, we're just camping out with Brianna. Could be worse. Although she's probably really like standoffish and, you've seen anime, I'm sure. All right, so first 2 rolls for this day, the 29th. We got a 4 and a 10, so we did not find it on our first day. Okay, I mean, I probably should be tracking, like, rations. But honestly, even when I'm DMing for other people, it's just not really a fun thing. I've also found, like, tracking arrows and... like, when I'm playing with my family or DMing for my family... you know, initially I was like, okay, we'll have grease, you know, and grease will have, like, a usage die of a D4 and blah, blah, blah. But really, if they ever think to use grease, like, whatever, great, excellent. Like, eventually I say, yeah, you're probably out of grease. To which they generally agree, because I'm quite generous. But yeah, tracking things like inventory and stuff like it's just whatever. If it were a video game and it did it all for you, great, but I'm not gonna bog down a game. So, June 30th, 2 rolls. We need a 3 and then a 4. Okay, we rolled double 7, so nothing on the 30th. We should also probably be doing random encounter checks as well. So, for random encounter, I guess we'll do the same thing, except with a D20. Did they say how to do? Yeah, okay. So the first day, let me do the first day, a 1 and a 2. Okay, nothing. And then this June 30th, 3, 4, nothing. Okay. All right, that's all the rolls. Now the 31st. Keeping track of all this in my head here. All right, so the first roll for the tomb is a 5 or less, nothing. And then the D20 would also be a 5 or less, nothing. Second roll, 6 or less, nothing on the tomb. Oh, we get a random encounter. Here we go. All right, let's roll a random encounter. Okay, 3, 4, 6, 7. So a 3, a level 4 monster we got. He's escaping or fleeing something. He's defensive. And the complication is an opposed faction. Or faction opposed. I'm not sure what to do. I never am sure what to do with the complication. It always throws me for a loop, and I'm not quite sure what to think. But either way, we need to find a level 4 monster. So let's take a look, shall we? I wish they grouped these by level, but they never do. And I sort of get grouping it alphabetically, and I guess I sort of get grouping it by, like, type of monster. I just wish there was also a level arranged. I want a lot of filters. Okay, so level 4, we have the Aswang, which is an undead creature. We've got a Bigfoot. That's out of left field. Chimera, which is pretty cool. That's a strong possibility. Clayman. Don't know what that is. Demon Troll. Deviant. Direwolf. Earth Elemental. Fire Phoenix. Giant Serpent, Giant Spider. Golem. Lion. Minotaur. Mummy. Night Elf Mage. Assuming you're playing with Night Elves in your world. Sea Revenant. Sludge Beast. Pentacoil. Isn't that like a Pokemon? And Yetis. Okay, so we're in the forest. We're in natural, you know, not a relatively, like, extreme location. We're not underground or anything like that. So I think almost certainly we're going to go with the giant serpent or giant spider. I think that makes the most sense. So, between the two of these, I don't know. Doesn't really matter to me one way or another. You could do a giant serpent being chased by a giant spider. I don't think that probably would make sense. I don't like spiders, so let's go with giant serpent. And they appear in groups of D4, so let's see how many giant serpents are coming towards us. 2. Okay, we got 2 giant serpents working in tandem. We'll ignore all the fleeing aspects and things like that and just have a couple giant serpents coming towards us. Or we could roll on the hook table. But yeah, I think stealth is a good way to go. So we're gonna roll the serpent's stealth check, or agility check, really. And we'll do one roll for both of them to make it simple. Alright, they rolled really poorly as a 5. I don't think we can even fail. Well, Garland could fail. His sense is shit. So his sense roll is a 5. Alright, so even he made it. And then her check, obviously, is pretty solid. She got an 8. We're all a little clumsy and clueless, but we do spot the serpents sort of waiting in the brush, ready to ambush us, staring out. Although it's big. It's big, so yeah, I guess it might be in like a little bog that we passed through, you know, some pool of water, and it's just got its eyes peeking out. Okay. Let's set up roll 20 again, because I like that. Just give me a second. It's got like 8 windows open and blah blah blah. Yeah, but we roll 20, I just don't have to... I don't have to make up stuff, I don't have to guess at stuff. You know, we can just play it as it should be, as a board game. No approximations or anything like that. Alright, now if I want to wipe my whole thing... Okay, good. Here, hold on. And we need to get rid of the guard. This centaur. We've got Garland. We've got Brianna traveling together. Sort of like that. Let's paint a scene here. First of all, we need our serpents. And these are sized huge. Okay, these are huge. Just for reference, in case you forgot. There's the size chart. So humans are medium, ogres are large, dragons are huge. So these things are massive. In that case, I don't know how they're like situated, two of them, that they're not just like immediately visible. But yeah, maybe we're passing by a sizable swamp or something. I don't know. We'll throw that feature in there. But that does explain why it might be a little awkward for them to completely hide, and we were able to spot them. Okay. So if medium is like 1 square, large is 4 squares, 8 or huge is like, yeah, that's like 3 by 3. It's very big. Okay, and we can scale this. There you go. There you go. That's how I would interpret it. Okay, 2 of them. Okay, and they're kind of just maybe like that. And we need some water. I mean, if you just had like a bog that I could take, I'll take your bog, sir. Here's a marsh, but that... yeah, okay. I guess that kind of works, but I don't see why we'd really be... I don't know why we would be going through this area. I guess maybe we really think that the tomb is in this area. That makes the most sense. Okay. So we're like trying to stick to the solids here. Doesn't really make much sense. But that makes the battlefield more interesting. So the snakes then are like here. Okay, let's go with that. It's a little hard to see. I don't know if I can drop the opacity. Now I've like lost the map layer. So that's good. GM layer, map layer. No, I mean, I don't think there is a way to lower the opacity. All right, well, whatever. We'll make do. Okay, so yeah, we spot the serpents. We actually, I mean, I guess combat wouldn't start yet. They're hoping probably that we get a bit closer. So we could just like turn and run maybe, although I don't know if we'd outrun giant serpents. And I think they're still like pretty much submerged. Again, I guess it's kind of surprising to me that you can't just lower the opacity of a token. Okay. So we could do something here if we had a thought. But they are largely submerged. We can't outrun them. Almost certainly. I don't know if I have a clear shot then in that case for Portal. We might have to get him to come out first. So then I guess sort of just hammer and anvil. We send Brianna in to tank, and then I blast him with Portal or Psychic Blast or something. But she's not that stupid. Although she doesn't have a ranged weapon, which is really kind of a bummer, so she can't do much. I guess she could, like, chuck a rock. Alright, so she'll move to, like, here. And she's gonna chuck a rock or a stick or something at this serpent. So let's give her... She's got a D6 in range combat. And doesn't have a ranged weapon. So she'll throw a stick. 14... Whoa, 12 D6. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. 4. So she rolled an 18 for her ranged combat. This thing's defense is 14. I mean, again, as a DM, I could I say, oh, disadvantage because it's mostly hidden. And maybe if she was shooting a bow or something that was really going to do damage, I might consider that. But this is just a stick to alert it. So, yeah, it just collides with its face. And so it thrashes out. And that causes the other one then to pounce as well. Okay. So now we're going to... there you go. Nice. So now we're going to do initiative checks. Brianna has advantage. So she rolls a 12 and a crit. Okay, well, that's almost certainly going to go first. Garland does not have advantage. He rolls a 16. And then the two snakes will go at the same time. They get a D8. They rolled very well. They rolled a 22. There we go. Okay, and they each have 30 health. That is not nothing. Jesus. Okay. So, combat begins. They're both now fully visible, or mostly visible. And Brianna goes first. No ranged weapon. It's kind of a problem. I mean, theoretically, the best plan would be to just have her back up. But she might just hold her ground and, like, wait. She might delay her turn, actually. Giant Serpent has Swim as an ability, so I think they just move full speed in water. They can Swallow. They also have a Poisonous Bite, Fortitude Save, or Death. And they can use that 4 times per encounter. That is going to be tricky. We'll want to send these into the sky pretty soon. So I think she's going to just, like, back up here and wait. Then the serpents go. So standard move is 6, but again, you can double move normally. And, you know, we just measure by one of these squares here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get all up in that grill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's on its way. Okay, and that brings us to Garland. Now, I could Psychic Blast. That's an option. I could Dominate to just, like, send it away for a while. Or, of course, we can just rely on Portal again. These creatures are huge, though. So... for Portal, by default, it can only do size medium. So to get it up to huge, I'd have to empower. I have to spend 3 health. And we actually should be at full, because we've spent a few days. So 3 health. I could hit both of them, and I could send them 240 feet up. Assuming I actually succeed on my rolls. I mean, it's probably the best bet. 24d6 is almost certainly a kill. I hate to be considered a one-trick pony, but the alternative that I could do, also for 3 health, is Psychic Blast. I could turn that into a d20 hit on both of them. But I could roll like a 2 for the damage on that, you know? Whereas Portal, it's just too good. If we're out in the open, it's just, you're fucking dead, pretty much. So, yeah, I guess we'll use 3 health on Portal. That's not nothing, 3 health. Can't do that too many times a day. Or a week, really. If you consider that if we go down to like 2 health, it takes a long time to recover. And probably I should be spending money on like healing potions or something. And again, this is just how I'm doing things for my setting. So healing potions obviously exist. Bandages, that sort of stuff exists. You know, everything from like the equipment list and specialist equipment and stuff, that all exists. Scrolls for many of the spells exist. But you can't buy scrolls for any of the divine spells. Or the light spells, I guess. Anything that's like heal, or, you know, some sort of cure, rejuvenation, anything like that, that has to just come from like a cleric or a priest, or, you know, something like that. So healing potions would be a good idea. Healing kits would be a good idea. Because a healing kit is 5 uses for like 200 silver, and each one heals d6 health. So if we just buy a few of those, we're okay. But I do have totem magic. I didn't pick this, but we could actually use Totem of Restoration to recover d6 health. You need snake parts or dog parts, and we're about to kill a couple snakes. So maybe we should harvest these snakes and make up some totems of restoration. Anyways, that's a problem for after the fight. So we spent our 3 health. Now we need to do our magic check. Because this is going to be magic versus will. Although it doesn't really matter, because as we know, all monsters just have 1 skill die. They roll for everything. So it's magic versus their skill check. So let's roll our magic. We rolled a 1. That's a bummer. That's a bummer for multiple reasons, really. One is that we just wasted 3 health. 2 is that we wasted our turn when Brianna's about to get shit on. And 3, we actually have to do a wild magic check. Or a wild magic roll now. So we're going to roll a d20 and see what happens when we miscast our spell. 4. Drained. Wild magic drains d4 health. Great. Now, I don't think that's stress, although I could see a DM arguing that. I wouldn't be shocked if people argue that it counts as stress. Because it's like magic draining your health, which is literally what stress is. But I also think that seems kind of dickish. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Because rolling a 5 instead of a 4 is d6 damage and pushed a range band. So maybe. And if you roll a 3, a shadowy mirror form with all powers of the caster appears and attacks you. So that's really shit. So I think, yeah, probably it counts as stress, unfortunately. And that can only be recovered through sleeping. So we'll roll the d4. Of course, it's a 4. Never expect anything different. So we have 7 stress used, and we're down to 10 health. Pretty bad. Brianna losing much confidence in Garland at this turn of events. So that was a turn. Okay, back to Brianna then. Now she could do combat tactician, so she could attack with advantage, but I think she needs to play far more defensively here, and we probably want to bank on Harry. There's like a big list of all their... Here it is. Thank you. So parry, counter a successful attack, take no damage, must be called before damage is rolled. I think they probably should have picked a different word than counter. I wrote counter attack in my sheet, but it's not a counter attack. You're not attacking back. You're just deflecting it. So deflect a successful attack, take no damage. So we can do that 3 times this encounter. And I think we may want to rely on it. We can roll it after an attack hits us before damage is rolled. And she's got good defense, so I'm hoping she doesn't have to use it too much. But for right now, she's just going to do a basic longsword attack. D20 plus D6, and she needs to hit, I think, also a 15, really. A 14, okay. And we rolled a 10, so Brianna missed her swing. Two serpents are going to post up now. There's very little reason for them to not do the poison bite, considering that it does more damage than their normal bite. And, also has the fortitude save or death. One of them could grab her, and then it's just a d6 damage every turn, unless she breaks out. And that's pretty bad. You know, one snake grabbing her, the other snake poisoning her. And it also fucks with Garland's portal strategy a little bit, because if he teleports a serpent that's holding her, that's not good for her. So there is that. Okay, yes, that's what we're going to do. One of them's going to try and grab her. So it's strength versus strength or agility. She has D4 and everything. They have D8 and everything, so it's a D8 versus her D4. It's not great. I'm not sure if she could parry it, but I would assume so. It's an attack. It's just a different kind of attack. Realistically, I don't know how you would parry a giant serpent, like wrapping themselves around you. But, you know. Although it's not an attack, because it doesn't do any damage this turn. So maybe you can't parry. I guess, yeah, I could see that argument. Alright, so let's roll the serpents. D20 plus D8 is 20. And then her D20 plus D4. Yeah, miserable. She is grappled by one of the serpents. Sad to say. She's in there. So it's going to start to squeeze next turn then. Then the other one is going to try to bite her, or it could move on to Garland actually. But no, they'll focus on Brianna. So this is D20 plus D8 versus her 15 defense. It doesn't really say any penalties or anything like that for grappling. I assume the penalties of her being kind of immobilized are somewhat offset by the fact that it has to try and squeeze in past this other giant serpent that's grappling her to bite her. So it's a horse apiece. We'll just roll it normally. D20 plus D8 for the serpent. Okay, he rolled a 3. He missed. And that was one of his 4 bites available. Okay, that's that. It's Garland's turn again. Now it gets a lot trickier for them. He can't portal both of them without almost certainly killing Brianna as well. I don't think that's much of a cushion. But he has to spend 3 health to even use portal. And spending 3 health on one of them is a bit of a waste. Even if it does hit. But if he does hit with it, and that kills it, that would be pretty good. That would be pretty good. But if he spends the 3 health and fails to connect with the portal, we're kind of up shit creek. I mean, as usual, Garland will most likely survive. He can always just fly away, but it's a shitty thing to do to Brianna. We dragged her out here to the swamp. But yeah, I mean, I guess we're going to try another portal, and we're going to use it on the one that is not grappling her. So D20 plus D8 versus his D20 plus D8. Garland first. 19! Alright, 21 versus the serpents. 24! What the fuck? I was so excited. Damn it. So that just fizzled. And now Garland is in a very precarious state. Brianna's in a very precarious state. This may have not gone the way I wanted. I mean, yeah, it's not great. We were supposed to go on many adventures together. This is shit. Okay, Brianna goes first. She could sit here and start slashing away. At this thing, but it's going to do a d6 damage every turn, not counting the other one trying to attack her. And her best bet is doing 8 damage a turn on this serpent, which has twice as much health as her. It's not really a winning probability, so I think she kind of has to break out. But it's not great. The odds are not great, but she's going to try her strength check. Alright, she rolled an 11. The serpent, yeah, rolled a 17. Damn, that's bad. Okay, I mean, that's her turn. So the one obviously squeezes, doing 2 damage to her and automatically. Why was she not at full health? She should have been at full health, right? Nothing's happened to her. So, yeah, she's at 15. Then the other one's going to try and poison her again. It may as well. So far, Garland has done nothing but kind of just point his fingers at them. So, yeah, here's d20 plus d8. Okay, 20 is a hit. So it does d10 damage. 9! Holy shit, this is bad. 9 damage. And she has to make a fortitude save or die. Although it didn't... Hold on. Says make a save or suffer the stated effect. What's the save, though? Is it 10? I would imagine it's 10. That's what I would put it at. Oh yeah, 10. Although, if you look at the afflictions table, death is a strong poison with a fortitude 20 check. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of mean, really. That's mean, man. I guess I don't know if I would put it at 10 now. Checks. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, I guess I could set it at 20, but that seems really dickish. And I don't think I'd ever do that to players for a level 4 monster. Because that means a level 4 monster could kill... like anything. It could kill a fucking dragon or something with just one bite. It just seems ridiculous. So we'll set it at 10. That seems fair. So fortitude 10 save. She might still fail. Okay, she didn't fail. But that doesn't mean much. She's still almost dead. Oh boy. Okay, so that was the 2 snakes. At this point, Garland could portal both of them again. And Because, I mean, at this rate, I mean, she's, like, near death. So maybe you just take your chances. Or, you know, we send it up there, it loosens its grip on Brianna while it's falling. And then I could teleport her to safety afterwards. Rather than just watch her die in front of me. So I think Garland is going to try and teleport both of them again. But we're... Ooh, yeah. It's not good. This really needs to work. Okay. Yeah, D20 plus D8 versus D20 plus D8. Garland's roll is a fucking 6. This is the worst rolls of this entire campaign. First serpent rolls a 7, which passes. And the one holding Brianna rolls a 6. I think that means it hits. Right? Equal or beat is usually... It's usually how we do things. Equal or exceed, yeah. So it's equaled it. So we're good. I sent the one holding Brianna 240 feet up into the air. The bad news is I now have a serpent staring me down, and I have 4 health. But I think we said, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we said at some point that breaking a totem was like a free action. Which is really funny that I say that now, because I could have, at the start of combat, broken my prowess totem. No, okay, I guess I need advantage on magic checks. So I don't even have a totem of insight. I never bothered to make one. I really should have just a collection of these totems on me. But I could have given Brianna the totem of prowess. I will, if she survives this. But since we said it's a free action to just snap it in half real quick, I'm going to snap one of the flight totems. And then I'm going to use my movement to fly 30 feet up into the air. Which is out of the snake's reach. Oh, boy. So now I would need to adjudicate what exactly is happening 240 feet up in the air. I mean, they both would probably be panicking. I think its grip would loosen, and she would kind of just tumble out. But I also feel like it might, you know, still try and, like, snap at her and bite her. So, yeah, I'm gonna rule that it's gonna try and bite her, but it's gonna get disadvantage on its roll, because obviously not an ideal situation to... It has no leverage, you know, anything like that, so it's very tricky. But all right, it rolls a 17 and a 10, so it misses. I don't know what she would be doing. Because she's got nothing that could save her. So she's just, like, making her peace with God. And looking down and cursing the name of Garland. But she does see him, like, flying up. So on his turn, he's going to continue to ascend 30 feet. And they're probably, like, descending, like, 60 feet. So they've fallen 60. He's gone up 60. Another turn, another snake attack. Rolled a 21 and a critical fail. So it misses again. They fall another 60 feet. So they're 120 feet up in the air. Garland flies up another 30, so he's at 90 feet. And now he wants to try and catch Brianna in midair as she's falling. This is not going to be simple. I mean, how do we get into this situation? This is ridiculous. So one last snake attack. Before something will happen. One way or another. So D20 plus D8, 24, or a 23. That hit is going to connect. And this is just a normal attack from it, which I think is D8 damage. So it's not good. She's got 6 health. She might be unconscious when he catches her, if he catches her. But yeah, it's a D8. 7 damage. Okay, she's down to 0. So if she survives this encounter, she's going to have to roll on the wound table, which isn't good. But let's worry about her surviving first. This is probably going to be an agility check just to see if I can actually, like, catch her in midair. And then after that, I'm going to have to think about it as far as physics. But, yeah, first is going to be an agility check. And I think we need to set the DC at, like... It's got to be somewhat tricky. But we'll put it at 12, I suppose. Alright, he failed, I can tell. Yep. So, he tries desperately to grab her unconscious form in midair, but she slips past. And she's falling faster than he can fly. And he can't disable the spell. And why would he? So now it becomes a matter of using Portal to teleport her off to safety on the ground. Because he can make a portal to the ground now. I mean, they're close enough. Actually, he could have always done that, I think. Because the basic portal is 240 or 120. I think it's far. I think it's 240. I think he can do it regardless. So yeah, he can teleport her off to safety, like outside of the swamp a little bit, away from the snakes. And they, you know, the one still down there will not realize that she's down there, so it's not a problem as long as he can actually teleport her. I don't think this is a resisted check. She's unconscious, so I just have to roll magic 10, which means I have a 95% chance of success. Shouldn't be that big of a problem. Although the range that I can target stuff is medium. So that's 60 feet. Assuming we just pass by each other, I pretty much have like one chance to do it. Maybe two. But alright, we're going to spend another stress. We're down to 3 health. And this is my 95% chance to succeed. Alright, we succeeded. Okay. So I teleport her into like some long grass nearby. And then I can just fly for at least, you know, like 9 more minutes or something like that. And I'm imagining that we kind of like left our horses outside of the swamp because we didn't want them to get stuck or something. We didn't want like an Atreyu incident. So we just kind of left them outside of the swamp while we went in to try and find this tomb. So they're hitched up to a tree or something outside of the swamp. The thing is, I don't think I can carry her. And this is what I was kind of questioning with flight. Is, just because I can fly, that doesn't mean I can lift whatever. Like, I can only lift what I can lift. So it's a question of, like, can I actually carry this woman? If we were both on the ground, could I lift her and carry her? And then, yeah, you start getting into all of D&D's tables and whatnot of what you can carry, and blah, blah, blah. I guess Garland probably could. He's got a D4 in strength. I mean, we could do a roll, I suppose. But, I don't know. I mean, she's got armor on, she's got chainmail and a shield and a sword. I'm sure she's not light. But she's also a woman. So, yeah, we'll just say I could carry her. So I'll carry her to our horses. Obviously, the one serpent explodes upon hitting the ground. I mean, we could roll 24d6 if you want. 82 damage. It's dead. And yeah, man, I thought that was such cheese before. On the centaurs, there was such cheese. But here, it's like, no, damn. Because they were rolling a d8 as well, so we're basically just doing a roll-off. It's very likely you won't succeed. And it's draining. The big target like that, that's draining. So, okay, I think, you know, we were very cocky. At the end of last session, we just got fucking humbled. We just got humbled. Okay, so we're on our horses. I guess we just kind of ride back to, like, Greenleaf. And we're just gonna rest there for, like, a week. She does need to roll on the wound table. Well, okay, so I don't really have a way of healing her. Oh no. If a hero is reduced to 0 health or less through stress. Someone suffering a wound will be knocked unconscious for the encounter, but returns at 1 health. Okay, so I don't really have to heal her. She will wake up unless she rolls really poorly on the wounds table. And yeah, so far for running for my family, we've had multiple people hit 0. We had one person actually roll a 1 on the wounds table. And other people have just gotten regular wounds, but some of the wounds are kind of bad, and people just kind of retire that character because they don't want to keep playing as it. But it's then your choice. I think there are situations, though, obviously, where you wouldn't get to roll on the wounds table. You would just be dead. Like, if you jump into a volcano, you're not just swimming out the other side and rolling on the wounds table. You're dead. Alright, we're gonna roll for her on the wounds table. Again, if she rolls a 1, she's dead. If she rolls a 20, she just survives. No problem whatsoever. A bunch of these, like, basically, if you roll a 7 or higher, it's a temporary benefit outside of maybe losing some health permanently. But if you roll a 6 or lower, it's really just bad permanent stuff. That's sort of retirement kind of things. But losing like 2 health permanently and then a disadvantage on something for this session, that's really fairly negligible. If you like your character, you'd probably keep playing as them. But alright, let's roll. She rolled a 7. Just right on the fringe there. So she loses 2 health forever. So she's at 1 health. And max of 15 now. And she has disadvantage on all physical checks for the rest of the adventure. Now, what exactly the adventure is up to the DM to sort of determine. For us, that's probably until the end of this tomb. You know, because that was like the agreed upon adventure for like Garland and Brianna. So I think that makes the most sense. Now, obviously, it's a sort of a time-based thing. So if we completely ignore the tomb now, you know, it's not like a video game quest where you will be injured until you clear out the haunted tomb. It's a time-based thing. It's assuming that the tomb is kind of like the adventure we're on. But if we just go off and run the zoo for a year, like, she would probably recover. But yeah, it's broken ribs. And I guess we could probably just like look up recovery time for broken ribs, although this is medieval, but there's also magic. So, you know. Okay, let's write this in. I think this was the 32nd, or not the 32nd, July 1st. I don't know if there's 31 days in June. I have no idea. There is in this setting. July 1st, while looking in swamp, ran into 2 giant serpents. Brianna, wait, killed one with portal. Brianna knocked out with broken ribs. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, we got humbled. There's no other way to put it. We got humbled pretty good. The thing is, like, once we start doing combat and, like, setting it up on Roll20 and things like that, like, we are very outmatched. We were 2 level 3 characters going up against 2 level 4 giant serpents. And the main problem, of course, is just, like, the amount of damage that we can put out. Those things each have 30 health. Even if we hit every round with our attacks, you know, you're still looking at, like, D8s, D6s, things like that. Even if I relied on Psychic Blast and I charged it, that's, I think, yeah, it's a D12. And that's costing me 2 health every turn. So, yeah, that's our main problem, is that we're just kind of under-geared. And that's where you'd probably hire a sellsword. Because if we had 6 sellswords and we went into that fight again, our odds would be much, much better. Because the sellsword, each one is armed with, you know, a club or an axe or, you know, something, a d6. Yeah, I mean, probably like a hand axe, or maybe you give him a long sword. We bought like, or we were paying for like level 3 to sell swords, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap, but that is kind of the, you got to spend money to make money. I don't know if Greenleaf is big enough for us to get many sell swords, unfortunately. But I think for the severity of, like, her injuries and stuff, we'd probably feel the most comfortable, like, riding back to Guthwald. So that's what we're going to do the rest of July 1st. Let's go back to Guthwald. Alright, so we each heal D4 damage. So Garland heals 4, thank God. And Brianna heals 4, excellent. And then probably we would just wait here. We'd probably just wait here until we're full health. So let's see how many days that'll take Garland. He needs to recover 10 health. So that was done 1 day. So this would now be the 3rd, 1 health. The 4th, 5 health. The 5th, 9 health. The 6th, 12 health. Okay, so the 6th at the very least. And he would be back to full. And then for her, similar rolls. So the 3rd, 4 health. The 4th, 7 health. The 5th, 8 health. The 6th, 11 health. That'll bring her to full as well. Okay. And again, we probably should be spending money for this. I think we're averaging 10 silver a day in a normal city. I mean, that's the going rate of chilling and relaxing. So that was the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. 5 days. 50 silver. Gone in the blink of an eye. It's alright. Okay. During that time, Garland is going to make totems. And I don't think we really need to... I mean, pretty much it's just like spend money to get some of these monster or these creature parts, right? I mean, it's really kind of like OP in a way. Or it feels like we're kind of making it OP. I don't know what the original designer intended for totem magic, but like I'm counting it as just like small little items. I'm not counting them as each one holds up a slot. Although I think I could see the argument for that from a balance perspective. That would certainly curb things. I was picturing like a little tiny twig thing, but I guess if we're imagining it more as like I don't know, the size of like, I don't know, a doll, you know, or something like an actual, or like a totem in like Warcraft, you know, where it's like this solid kind of chunk of wood. It's like, I don't know, 1.5 feet tall or something. I guess if you're thinking like that, I mean, it says anyone can activate a totem by snapping and breaking it. That means anyone can break it, so it's somewhat fragile. The magic wants to be released, so it kind of is easy to break. But I don't think it's necessarily small, and I think I should adjudicate it for myself that it takes up an inventory slot, and it's that big. And then that way, if I DM for anyone else, or future games, or whatever, the rule is set there. Because that's the way I played for myself, so I balanced it, and that's the way it is. So that's what we're gonna decide. So, and in that case, really, I should have been able to just pull it out of my pack anyways, even if it was small, because I didn't put it in a ready slot. Although, my ready slots have been abandoned. Yeah, okay. So we probably want to get rid of some stuff. Or really, we want to hire, like, a porter. But once you start hiring porters, I mean, we remember what happened to Patrick, the first porter. Did not go well for him. And we lost all of our stuff in a dungeon. Because he fell and died. Yeah, alright. I'm gonna give Brianna the rope and the grappling hook, since I can fly, and then the lantern, because I could also see in the dark if I wanted. I probably should also just give her my bow as well, but I think we should just buy her a crossbow or something like that. Also, I don't know why I put her warhorse in her inventory. And she should have 13 slots anyways. Okay, so then for us, we can have a flight totem. Ready, and then we have one in our pack, and then we're gonna give her our prowess totem so she can break that if she ever wants to. All right. Bearing left, ready, ready. I wasn't really doing this for my family playing with like the ready slots and stuff, because again, it's just like whatever. Like, I don't want to bog them down with stuff that they don't need to worry about. They don't tend to do anything in combat or situations other than just attack with their weapons, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, she's gonna... Got that. Say she's left-handed. That's fine. Okay, so that's better. And now, yeah, we want to get some more totems. And again, like, how do I decide how much how much snake do I need, or dog do I need to make the totem? It just says a piece. A piece could be anything. It could be a hair. Or it could be its liver. Or it could be its head. I mean, I don't know. There was I really don't know. I don't know what's like a fair way to do that. There was something for like, yeah, harvesting parts. So a medium target would have one part. Which implies then that basically I'm taking like the head of the dog or something. I guess the better way to rationalize it, I guess, is that I'm using something that the animal only has one of. So, like, it's heart. I get. That would be the easiest thing, I suppose. But then in the case of like large and huge and stuff, I guess it would be something that a large target has 2 of. Or a huge target has 4 of. I think you don't want to think about it too much. But basically, for small or medium, it's something that has 1 of. And is probably its heart. Although it makes it seem really grim and dark. But I don't have to... It's not a live sacrifice or anything. I can just buy dog hearts at the butcher. What's the price of a dog heart? Oh, God. Okay, well, so first thing is, we want the Totem of Insight. Advantage on all magic checks is going to be huge for fights like that where I desperately need to roll well to pull off a big portal or something. So we want at least 1 Totem of Insight. And that's a raven, owl, or tortoise. So like a tortoise heart. Or a tortoise shell or something. How do I figure out the price of a tortoise? Or a raven? Good God. Stop making me think of this stuff. Okay. A riding dog is 250. That's insane. A hunting hawk is 250. A chicken is 10. And this is for a whole live animal. All we need is part of a dead animal. So I think any of these basic animals, anything more than 10 or 15 is kind of ridiculous, unless it was really an exotic thing. But I don't know. I don't think a raven is that exotic. Is it? Oh God, thinking. This is why you're just supposed to throw a number out there. Just do it. Fuck it. Okay, just fuck. This is the price at this moment in time for me to make a Totem of Insight. I'm gonna roll a d20. 18. Boom. Done. I'm not even gonna think about it anymore. It cost me 18 if I want to get the part needed to make a Totem of Insight. And then I roll a d20 for my magic check, which I fail. Are you serious? I gotta spend another 18? Does the part get used up? It seems kind of dickish. But if it doesn't get used up, there's not much penalty, really. Fine, fuck it. Another 18. I grumble. I rolled a 6. I failed again. This is insane. Alright, another 18. I rolled a 2! What the hell? Oh my god. This is like cursed. This is cursed. Holy shit. Now it's like a matter of principle. Like, I have to succeed. I shell out another 18 bucks. Why did I roll so high for that? The price. Okay, I finally rolled a 14. So 4 times 18 is 76 gold I just spent. Insane, man. Okay, but we got our totem of insight. Okay, then we want... It's gonna get even worse. Because now I wanted to have Totem of Restoration. Just on hand to heal. Although really... That's really like an in-combat kind of heal. As a free action. I should also just buy a healer's kit. But let's get 2 Totems of Restoration. So I need the price of a dog heart. Let's roll a d20. No, come on. Okay, that's insane. Alright, dogs are uncommon on Koros. So... it costs 15 per. This is ridiculous. Why am I rolling high on the price and low on my checks? Fuck. Okay, 15 per. So I'm gonna buy 2 just to start. But I don't actually... I'm not proficient with this spell. So I have to roll disadvantage on my magic check. Okay, so here's my attempt to make the first Totem of Insight. Okay, I passed no matter what. Good, we got a Totem of Insight. Or a Totem of Restoration. Second one. Okay, I passed no matter what. Insane! Are you serious? Disadvantage? I passed both? Okay, I'm not taking both, though. I'm giving one to Brianna. And she can just break that when necessary. Yeah, I mean, I could make some other totems, but I'm mostly just happy with those. We got 2 flights, an insight, restoration. It's all fine. Frankly, I just don't want to risk spending more money. Even though the Totem of Prowess is pretty good. Advantage on all attack rolls for 2 turns. Yeah, I'm just upset. Okay. And then on the final day, once we're all patched up. Oh, I also wanted to buy a healer's kit. Yeah. So that's 5 uses, heals D6 each time. And that's 200. So we're going to buy that. Oops. And then we can also buy bandages. You can use 1 after a combat to heal D4 with disadvantage. They're not great, but they are fairly cheap. Brianna does not have much money. I'm not going to put it on her. So we'll just buy 6 of those. So that's 120. take that out of the bank account. I will take 3 of those. And Brianna will take 3 of those. Okay. Yeah, we could buy other things and so on and so forth. I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff. But... yeah, I don't know. Okay. So... now the cell swords. No specialists, just straight up cell swords. So, if we're looking for level 3s, they'll have 9 health each. They have a base defense of 9, but that's modified by equipment. And if we kind of kit them out relatively normally, they'll probably have like a 12 defense or so. And then if we give them all swords, I don't know, D6, D8? What's like a reasonably priced option here? Hand axes are D6 with bleed. That's fairly reasonable, I think. Yeah, to bump up to a D8, that would be 100 silver. But these are cell swords that are charge 30 silver a day. They probably would be able to afford, you know, as part of their line of duty, longswords. So sure, let's go with longswords. And then, maybe a couple of them have short bows, and then a couple of them have shields, just so they can kind of differentiate a little bit. And then maybe the ones without shields, they could two-hand their longsword, which would give them advantage on damage rolls, which is pretty big. And then for armor, they'll probably all have on... I mean, chain shirt would be somewhat ideal, but that's 250 each. So probably just like studded armor. Yeah, I think this all makes the most sense. Okay. Hire now, so that's the question then. How many do we want to hire? I'm thinking 4. 2 and 2. But that's 120 silver every day they were out there. Per. No, not per. 120 total every day we're out there. But the tomb is relatively close by. And, I mean, you're only going to spend, like, what, 20 minutes in there? You know, half an hour maybe? And then you're on your way back. So really, this might be like a one-day affair. So yeah, let's go with 4. Hired 4 cell swords, 30 silver each per day. Cell sword 1 and 2. They have the shields, so they have longsword, shield, studded armor. So they have 9 health. And then 4 defense extra, so 13 defense. And then the 2 others have longsword, short bow, studded armor. 9 health, 11 defense. Okay. So I have to pay them for today, which hopefully will be the only time I pay them. But that's 120. So I'm just going to deduct that. And I've told, like, my mom, you know, I tell her she's really interested in, like, my solo campaign here and, like, the things I get up to and stuff, because she really wants to learn, like, what you can do in a campaign and stuff. So I always fill her in every week. And, you know, I've talked about how many times I've hired sellswords and porters and specialists, and she always thinks, like, it's a really good idea, but then every week when we sit down and play as a group, like, no one ever actually does it. The thing is, like, they're a big group. There's 6 of them, and they have, like, a couple companions. So they don't really need to hire sellswords, and it could get a little tricky. Like, it could get crowded. Yeah. Some groups will just go their entire D&D lives without ever hiring a sellsword or a soldier or, you know, a torchbearer or whatever. Because they're the main characters and they're going to do everything. But Garland says, fuck that. Okay, so then on that morning, we hire our 4 sellswords, we pay them the money, and now we're going to ride back out. And we're going to ride out right to where those snakes were. And the exploded snake's corpse is almost certainly still there, although it's probably been, like, fed on by other creatures and things like that. Carrion. But, you know, we believed that the tomb was in that area. And we want revenge on that other snake. We want to make sure they're both dead. So we're going to go out there. We've got help now. We're going to butcher this thing. Now, Brianna has disadvantage on all physical checks. Anything physical. To me, that means pretty much agility, fortitude, senses, strength, most of the skills, including melee and ranged combat. So she is really, I mean, she's still just, like, wincing and stuff from her broken ribs. They haven't really recovered at all. And I could have just left her there. But she's too proud for that. She wants her share of the treasure, so she's going into that tomb. But I think she is going to buy a bow before we even head out. Probably a short bow. Yeah, she doesn't have a lot of money. So she's going to buy a short bow and arrows for 85. Okay, good. So that's good. And she's gonna pretty much gonna primarily be using that here. Arrows. Okay. So, the snake probably is in its habitat where it was. But do we spot it? Because it's not in the exact same spot. Between the 6 of us, I can't imagine it rolls that well to loot. No, okay, we definitely spot it. There's a group of 6 tromping through. And we need our guards and stuff. So we got our couple shielded guys. And then somebody with a bow here. Perfect. All right. And the archers are going to just launch a volley. So that means, I guess all of us have bows. Or 4 of us have bows. So we're all going to launch a volley. This, since we're intending to do damage, I'm going to give disadvantage on these rolls. And the cell swords all roll with a D4, I believe. At level 3. Yeah, D4. So they're not great, but there's a bunch of them. So they'll go first. D20, D4, disadvantage. First guy rolls a fail. The second guy, a fail. Brianna, she gets disadvantage as well, so double disadvantage, but that cancels each other out. She rolled a 7, which is a fail. Yep. And then Garland rolled a 9 plus... No, we all failed. Okay. So the arrows either missed or they just kind of glanced off its body, but it served the purpose of upsetting it. So that's all good to go. We'll have the 2 shielded guys go at the same time and the 2 bow guys go at the same time. Brianna rolls a crit. Okay, so she's going first again. The snake rolls a 20... 5, which is quite high, but she's still going to go first because she rolled a crit, so whatever. Set her at 28. 25. Garland is going to go at 22. High rolls. The shielded guys are going to go at 7. And the bow guys are going to go at 11. 7-11. Okay. So Brianna is just going to fire her bow again. That's all she's going to do now. Although, hold on, she does have Combat Tactician. So her and one of the bow guys could both attack with advantage, which will cancel out her disadvantage. So she'll do that. And she rolls a 20, which is enough to hit. Look at that paying off. And her damage is a d6. 6 damage to this serpent. Look at that. And then the other guy will roll with advantage. He rolled a crit. So double damage. 6 more damage. Damn, dude. See, now we're shredding. I told you. Told you. Okay, then the snake's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then Garland's gonna go. He's not gonna bother wasting a spell here. So he'll just shoot his bow as well. He misses. Then the 2 bow guys will go. Because, well, wait a minute. So, Combat Tactician, does that bypass? Is that just a free attack? I'll find it. You and an ally close to you attack with advantage. As an encounter ability. I interpret that as just immediate. Unless it means like their next attack is with advantage, but I feel like you really would have to clarify that. So as far as I'm concerned, that somewhat messes with the action economy a little bit. Getting free attacks is always good, especially advantage. So both the bow guys are going to go again. First one rolls an 11, so that's a miss. Second one rolls a 17, that's a hit for 1 damage. Alright, not great. Okay, nearly half health. And then the two sword and boards are going to move up. And they will both swing. Oh, a critical fail and a 13 is a miss. Okay, that's fine. Brianna's going to go again. She's going to... I mean, fuck. She gets 3 of them every encounter, so she'll do Combat Tactician again. So she rolls a 13. That's a miss. Bow guy also misses. Oh, wait, no, he's got advantage. Never mind, he hits. And he does 5 damage. That makes up for it. Okay, the snake, though. First of all, it's going to roll a morale save. Or morale check. Because it's at half health. Now, some of these morale triggers I feel kind of blend into one another. Reduced to half health or numbers. I get that. That's very quantifiable. Leader has been killed. I get that. That's pretty quantifiable. Assuming there is a leader, but this is a solitary snake, so it doesn't really make any sense. Facing a great fear. I don't think I would interpret this, but it is overwhelming numbers, and they just kind of butchered the shit out of it, so maybe. And then battle is nearly lost. I guess I'd also interpret that as well. But at the same time, is battle is nearly lost like a 25%? If reduced to half health is the 50%? I guess that's probably how I would interpret it. So it's not at 25% yet. Is it facing a great fear? Yeah, maybe. So the default morale check is its roll versus 10. And it flees or surrenders if it rolls lower than 10. But I feel like the snake would probably flee. So I feel like I should set it higher than that. I think we should set it to 15 at least. So let's do a morale check against 15. D20 plus D8. Yep, so it's going to flee. But opportunity attacks, so the two sword and board guys will get a free shot at it. It's unlikely they'll kill it, but they may as well swing. First guy rolls a fail, second guy rolls a hit. He can't possibly kill it, but he sends it packing with 6 health left. And then, I mean, yeah, I guess the archers and everybody would also get free shots as it... it's gonna go into the water. Disadvantage, maybe, I guess. That's probably what I would give players. I'd say, sure, you can take a shot, but it's disadvantage. It's quickly, dashing into the water. So first bow guy, nope. Second bow guy, maybe. He rolled a 10. Nope, fail. Garland, nope. And Brianna, nope. Okay, so combat over. We didn't quite kill it. But it we humbled it. Just as we were humbled, so too is the snake. Okay, and then probably we would keep poking around the swamp, and we would soon find the entrance to the tomb. I could keep doing rolls every day and stuff, but I feel like this was a good opener to finding the tomb, is these two giant serpents here. So nearby we find an overgrown staircase, moldy and rotten and all that sort of stuff, descending into chill darkness. And that's where we're going to pick it up next time. Yeah, so I mean, certainly a different kind of session. This wasn't like big political stuff or me like planning stuff out or world building. This was mostly just like combat. But that's, you know, RPG sessions can go all sorts of different directions. So next time, yeah, it's just going to be a dungeon. I mean, we'll see how long that takes us. And I actually had a map ready for the dungeon. This one. So a decently sized dungeon, actually. I wanted to make it a bit of a bigger one. I don't know. I haven't planned any of the rooms or what's in them or anything. The only thing I probably would say is that the item we're looking for is in like number 11. Just because that's kind of like a final spot. But maybe not. I mean, maybe depending on rolls. Maybe we find it somewhere else. Nothing is set in stone. So then next time we'll just go through and we'll do the worlds without number. Whatever it was. The dungeon building sort of thing. Of whether it contains enemies or treasure or puzzles. Never find out where the hell that is. But it's in here somewhere. And so we'll just go room by room and see what happens. There it is. Creature, hazard, enigma, distractor, empty. Yeah. So, I mean, overall, I'm glad we survived. But really, for us to die, we both would have had to have been knocked unconscious. That would be the only way where I'd say, like, okay, the snakes eat us. But as long as one of us was alive and was able to extricate us with flight, that's pretty easy. It's not too bad to make it out of there. But she could have rolled poorly on her wound roll. And she may have been retired. She may decide adventuring's no longer for her. She's just going to become like a basket weaver or something. But I mean, the wound table, yeah, if she rolled lost a arm or hand, disadvantage on combat forever. I mean, that pretty much seals the deal. You're not going to keep going with that character. So yeah. But alright, good stuff. It didn't seem like we got a single chatter. Which is a bummer. Usually it's fun to have people in chat. But it's okay. This is a solo RPG. I can handle it. I can handle it by myself. Alright. For now, though, my name is Mang. This has been Solo Role Manging with Heroes of Adventure. I'll see you fine folks next time.